here with Killer Motorsports. Going to show you today normally a common question that I get asked a lot. How do I change the oil in my ATV? It's a fairly simple process. Here we've got our mock-up engine side, and you're going to see two bolts here. You're going to have your 17 millimeter here and your 14 millimeter here. The 17 millimeter is going to be your drain plug. This is going to be the one that you'll use. 17 millimeter wrench or socket, either or work just fine. Put it on there, break it loose, and your oil comes out. I do have it happen every now and again where somebody calls and they pulled the 14 millimeter. This is where your timing chain is going to be. All your timing chain tension is going to be on this bolt right here. If you pull this bolt out, you will get a few drops of oil out, but you're also going to get a rod and a spring come out with it too. They'll go back in the order that they fell out in. You're going to put the rod, which will have a rubber nipple that the chain guides on. You'll put that back in first, then your spring, then you tighten up your bolt. As long as you didn't run your engine, you're going to be okay. But after you drain your oil, and it goes all the way across the board from the 110s, the 70s, the 125s, even the 150s are the same way. And if you pull your drain plug out, either A, your oil is going to come out, or B, a mesh screen, then your oil is going to come out. These don't have oil filters. Sometimes they have a mesh screen, sometimes they don't have anything at all. It just depends on the model of the unit. When you pull your drain plug and your oil comes out, if you get the mesh screen, just take it, clean all the little metal shavings off, dip it in a little bit of oil, keep it lubricated, and then put it back in with it facing upward, and then you put your bolt back in. On the ATV, most of the time, this dipstick is kind of on the hidden side. It's always going to be on your right side behind the footrest. You could take your footrest off. I've also seen people take and just cut a small hole out where they can access it. You take and unscrew it. You'll pull your oil in from there. These use about 3/4 of a quart of oil. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. This depends on the manufacturer of the engine. Find that the long shins tend to be on a little bit more side. To check your oil, you clean off your dipstick just like you would a car, but don't thread it back in. You just set it on there, then pull it out, add to or remove if needed. We recommend to use a 10W40. I like this oil here. It's Maxim. It's made for 4-cycle engines, which is what this is. If nothing like this is available, standard SAE, Castrol, Valvoline, Pennzoil, those will work just as well. I don't recommend using any synthetics because the synthetics can wear out these seals that put these two casings together. And then after a while, say a year or so, you do your oil changes regularly, you will start noticing small leaks develop from these seals. At that point, then you're going to have to rebuild the engine.